Assalamualaikum, my name is Faiz, and for today we would do a film review on Gadoh directed by Namron. Joining me today is two of my friends and fellow analysts, Mr. Alif from UITM
Hi,
Puncak Alam and Mr. Shahir, a lecturer from UITM Puncak Alam.
Hi.
So, how you guys doing today?
I'm doing
Uh,
okay.
me too.
Alright, so we will start with me telling you guys a little bit of these films. So, this film is Gadoh, was directed by the Namron. Released in 2009, Gadoh highlighted the element of races and ethnicity in Malaysian education system. The story explores two groups of high school boys, one of which is a Malay gang headed by Khairil by Zahiril Azim, and the other is Chinese gang led by Heng Nicholas Liu Davis, all of whom were regularly searching for a confrontation because of their ethnic discrimination. It is a film that has aimed to discuss inequality in a very specific way through school violence. Gadoh highlighted the main issue of racism and ethnicity, as it seems to give an overview of the moral landscape in contemporary society in the Malaysian community. So, Mr. Shahir will tell more about this film.
Hi, today I will be talk about two issues arise in the film of Gadoh in 2009. In this session, I will be talk about the issue which is racism and ethnic, whereby these two issues are linked together, whereby as we can see in this film, there are three groups of people, which is Malay, Chinese, and Indian, whereby Chinese and Malay they always fight with each other in terms of the uh, different culture, different language, different lifestyle in this movie, and and Indian group, which is the student, always being dragged along to be in the fight, which is the Indian boy had become the henchman to send message to both of the two group, which is Malay and Chinese. So when Malay want to have a fight with Chinese, they will ask the Indian student to send the message to the Chinese group. Then the Chinese group also will be send message to the Malay by using the Indian group or the Indian student. So in this film, it shows that the negative thinking or prejudice toward each other of the group, whereby Chinese thought that Malay are very lazy, useless, and uh, does not respect other peoples, while the Chinese also Malay also have a negative thinking about the Chinese group, which is they said that Chinese group very hardworking and trying to take over the Malay economy, and they uh, they always think that Chinese people are always uh, does not respect Malay people. So in this movie, in the overall, there are a lot of racism and ethnic issues that arise when both of them arguing with each other because of differences of culture and lifestyle. As we can see in this issue arises when because of their environment living, or the place that they're born teach them to be like that because of uh, the influence of their family, friends, and the environment itself that make them to be hate each other and rise these issues problem in ethnic and racism. So in this film, it shows that how they try to overcome that racism in the film, which is by uh, working together and trying to understand each other. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Faiz and Shahir. So, there are several factors inside this film, which is Gadoh,
And the first factor is racism. So as we all know, Malaysia consists of multi-diverse culture, ethnic groups in Malaysia, such as the Chinese, Malays, and the Indians. So in this film, there are several dialogues that shows the racism that happens in these films, which is Cina makan babi berak tak basuh, Cina pengotor, and then the Chinese say back to the Malay, which is Melayu pemalas, bodoh pun dapat masuk universiti, and then the Indians also get hit by this racism, which is keling mabuk todi. This is a very rude dialogue, shows that we even though live alongside together, but the racism is still exists. And the next part is religion and belief. So Gadoh displays stereotypical generalization which Malays see that Chinese people are greedy, and the Chinese people look at other race to be a downgrade race or much more bottom than they are. And then the Indians are trapped between the dispute between the Malays and Chinese in this film. And it also shows the concept of one Malaysia, which is the unity between all the races. And from the perspective of religion and belief, we can see that the Malays or the Muslim cannot share the food that is not halal, and it also shows the concept of aurat, marriage, and fasting practice, and so on. And the third factor is linguistic discrimination. We can see that the Indians and Chinese speak differently than the Malays. So for example, the Malays cannot understand what the Chinese and Indian friends say whenever they are in a group. So this can contribute to the racial stereotype and racism because of the linguistic discrimination. So this can contribute much more to the communication issues in this film. Okay, so for the next is impact on society. There are a lot of impacts in that is shown in this film, and the first is give lessons to the society that we should not be racist with each other. The director brave to openly contest the issue of ethnicity, even though the issue is very sensitive for open discussion. And the main point of the director is that we can see that we need to open our eyes and realize the importance of living harmony among race and each other. So the second impacts are that the movie is criticizing the Malaysian education system regarding to the race-based ideologies in education institution in this country. And according to recent Ministry of Education report, ethnic division exists at the secondary school and national type school. The report states that majority of Malays attend national type schools, and meanwhile the Chinese attend the vernacular type school. This system promotes racism, should be abandoned, and should be leave for good. And the next impact is that the movie teach society that we cannot judge people without attempt to find the truth. Based on the movie, the scene of the principal punish his students easily without lending his ears to hear the explanation first about the conflict finally do not solve the problem. This is very bad, and people can lose respect to you because you do not want to know the truth but simply just judging. So that is all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alif and Mr. Shahir. So for my recommendation about these films, about the ethnic and racism issue in Malaysian movie, its directors in Malaysia should follow Namron's footsteps to make a lot of ethnic and racism movie in future to teach society to live together in harmony. The director shall arrange the scenes carefully with beautiful message, so the society can understand the lessons easily. Besides that, the directors need to be brave to criticize about the problems and the factors of racism conflict in Malaysia in a good ways. So we're already at the end of this session today with our two guests, Mr. Alif and Mr. Shahir. We can see that this film shows that we should not be racism with each other and teach society that we cannot judge people easily without attempt to find the truth and respect each other. And it is the key to keep Malaysians to live in peace and harmony. This film, Gadoh by Namron, is the best example of film that can give lessons to the society. This type of films need to be further developed to give Malaysian an understanding of the importance of maintaining interracial relations to maintain a harmonious and prosperous society. In addition, the different types of culture in Malaysia should become something to be proud within the Malaysian, not the other way around. That's all for today. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.